reconciliation. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Last section of the dance. Of course, if we just made up, something has to go wrong. So I call this section the explosion. This is the geography. So we're going to walk away from each other to our own outside. If this is inside, the space between us, then outside is the space on the other side of our bodies. So whatever hand is your free hand at this time is your outside. Right, so we're going to walk out away from each other, straight to perpendicular to the way we're standing now, basically. So we're going to walk away from each other. Let's just do 3 steps for now. So we're going to go step, 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 then turn to face, and then come back together, step, 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 and turn to face the other way than where you started. So we started facing this way at the start of this figure. At the end of the figure, we're 180 degrees. We've literally switched who's on left and who's on right. And for those of you who are familiar with this genre of dance, you probably know what that means. Okay, so 3 steps away, 3 steps back. Let's go ahead and try that slowly. Ready, and step, 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 turn back to 3/4 turn to face 180 degrees the other way. Okay, let's try that a little bit more quickly, and we'll talk about the last little ornament that goes on those 2 steps, but for now, let's keep it simple. Ready, and step, 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 turn back to 3/4 turn. So everyone should now be facing 180 degrees from the direction in which they started before they exploded. Right? Okay, so there's going to be a hop on the end of each of those 3 steps, on the end of each of those dopey, those doubles. So that hop is not an extra step, it's not an acrobatic anything, it looks like this, right? Left, right, left, I'm just gonna hop that left foot. Okay. Let's have everyone just try straight in a row without turns or anything. 2 of those, they're called Saltarelli, big hop, right? 2 doubles with a hop on the end, 1 on the left foot, the second one on the right foot. So right foot is weight, left foot is free, and left, hop, right, left, right, hop. Okay? So now, we're going to do the first of those forward, away from our current position, and then the hop becomes the half turn. Watch this. Left, hop, turn. And then my right foot still being free, I do that same step back to place, right, hop. And then you have a 1/4 turn, which becomes the final hop. So let's try that oriented with your partner, whether that's a ghost or a real person. Remember the goal in these dances, if you have to choose between correct geography and correct footwork, as a beginner, your goal is geography. Be where you need to be when you need to be there. The footwork will come with time, but the geography is the most important thing for now. So if you can only manage to either go away and come back or do the correct steps, go away and come back. However, your feet may carry you there, right? Remember, the Contessa School of Dance is always fake it till you make it, and I really need to have that translated into good Cicerone Latin. Okay, so we're going to explode now. We're going to do one of those Saltarelli away, and one of the second Saltarelli back. And the geography goal here is away, back, facing 180 degrees from where we started. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that slowly. 4, 3, 2, 1. Step, 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 hop, step, 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 1/4 turn. Okay, let's try that again. You can do it from the position you're standing in, because you're never going to be in the same place when you're actually doing this in a synthetic or an organic environment. So let's go ahead and try it from this orientation. Ready, and step, 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 hop, step, 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 hop. Okay, a little more quickly. Ready, and left, hop, right, hop. A little bit more quickly. Ready, and left, hop, right, left. Okay, now that's the whole dance. But whoever is on the left is the leader. The leader only really has 2 roles in this dance. One is during these opening piva, the leader is the one who actually decides what happens during those piba and where we go. Like, I actually have to listen to him as the follower, and that just comes through our hands. Right? There's a whole workshop series coming on that. But the second part where the leader really matters in this dance is during the argument, because the leader starts it all off. So if you are on the left, no matter what happened to the last round of the dance, if you end up on the left, you're the leader, you start the argument. Okay? Okay, we're gonna dance it once through all the way and I'll call, and then we're gonna go on mute, and you all are on your own. Okay, good musicians. 16 piba. Argument. Turn, leaders. Followers. Leader or followers. 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, and back. 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 Forward. Back. Again. Explode. 1, 2, 3, up, back. Okay. Excellent. So, are there any questions before I remove my vocal patterns from this conversation? Now is your chance. Oh, go ahead. If you have a question, go ahead. Come off of mute. Okay. Then?
Is there something typed?
Actually, I was just adjusting my sleeves.
Oh, I see. No problem then. Yes. Okay, so dance is Petite Rose for those who may just be joining.
I have a question.
Sorry. Yes, no, go ahead. Question.
So it looked like when you did the Saltarelli,
Yes.
like you and you came back and you turned the other way,
Yes.
away from the line of dance.
180 degrees from, you mean when I went at the end of the hop, the final hop?
Yeah. So when you started the Saltarelli, you were facing this way,
Right, yes.
and then when you came back, you switched to face the other way.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay. I was under the impression that you come back and you face the same way.
No, you face the other way specifically because the original instructions say that the man sends the lady forward the second time through. And he actually,
So
the
then
instructions actually say that you should end up facing with the lady on the left and the lady in the lead in Nancy forward.
Okay, so the leader and followers, that's what they switch positions there for the next iteration of the dance.
Exactly. Yep. So this is how that looks. So here we're facing this way, facing you, right? So
Sorry, I don't know why my camera keeps going off. Okay.
we do our explosion and 1, 2, 3, hop, back, 2, 3. And now we're facing this way. Yep. Okay, splendid. Excellent. That was a very good question. Does anyone else have any questions about Petite Rose or something relating to this ball? Okay, then on mute we shall go, my love, and I'm handing it over to our delightful Gaita.
Yeah, I don't remember how to mute you now.
To the mute button down below in the bottom left. Bottom left.
Ah, there it is.
Bottom left. Excellent. So, petite rose. Are there any questions now that you've had a chance to enjoy your way through the repetitions without my dulcet tones? If you have
Okay,
a question,
we got a question.
if
Go
you
ahead.
have a question, come off of mute, please.
All right, so some advice for the ladies. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who has this problem, but how do you go about keeping from stepping on your dress when you're dancing?
Yeah. So as
That tends to happen, especially with this dress.
Yeah. So for me, it's actually a question, thank you, that's a good question. It's actually a question that relates to clothing in general and also to posture. So a question often comes to my left, please. What do you do with your free hand? Free is in quotes, by the way, and my answer nearly always is you don't have a free hand. I don't know what you're talking about. Because for me, I am always managing my skirts with my free hand. Right? You might have noticed, if any of you were just watching, that I'm busy trying to keep this out of the way of my feet. Right? And so when we're going around, when we're going around forward, that's kind of easy because, this actually can flow behind me and I don't have to worry about getting in my way. But we start moving backwards, then I have to start doing something. So this is what I do to go, no, so they can see, on the side, right? Okay, so I actually lift this up. It's not completely out of the way, but it's up enough that as I move back, my hand, it being off the ground like this, it flows backwards in advance of me. But also, if I'm moving backwards in slow steps, and this might be the reason this step is the way it is in general, I actually use my feet to help push it out of the way. My feet don't actually leave the ground, they drag across the ground. Let's see if I can manage this. 1,
You need me to hold your
2.
skirts.
Yeah. Right. So my feet actually kind of in a little way help manage it, but that really only works on those slow dragging steps, which are called something else in the French repertory. But otherwise, I'm managing my skirts. And if my skirts are really long in the front, then I'm also managing them that way. And so maybe I might take a whole handful of skirt like this. But frequently, it's only the overgown that is the long dragging dress. So you only have to worry about managing the overgown. And the other gown is exactly, kind of floor length, and it never gets in my way. Did that answer the question, or was that actually too much of the wrong information?
Yeah, I see a thumbs up there.
Okay, splendid, good, excellent. Right, are there any other questions before we move on to our next dance? Excellent, then our next dance is a dance for those who know it. So this is a chance for those of you who may wish to catch your breath, maybe drink some beverage. The next dance is prigioniera, which means lady prisoner. Perhaps no doubt a reference to the allegory of the prisoner of love and the heart that's been captured and that is waiting to be rescued by its beloved. It's a whole motif. It's very common, very, very common. So this is for those who know it. I shall be dancing it with my beloved condottiero. Otherwise, I hope you will enjoy the spectacle and the beautiful sound.
And we'll go ahead and go on mute now.
Ready.
have an unmute. And hello again.
Welcome back. That is such a beautiful piece of music. Gorgeous arrangement, Chris and Kate, really beautiful. So, are there any questions about Prigioniera before we move on to our next dance, which will be taught? Excellent. The next dance then shall be a dance called Les Bains Dissonance, which is a bastardized 15th century English version of a French romance. So it's how the English in the mid-15th century thought French was pronounced. Okay. Not much changes, at least for English speakers. So this is a very simple little dance for two people. You'll notice that most of our dances are going to focus on couples dances, at most 3 people, because, well, we're all sort of lonely in our spaces. So the dance will start with something called the trace, and I interpret the trace as being piva in this particular dance because the music really, it has that feel to it. So we're actually only going to do 4 piva, though. So the same little, kind of in this case, because of the tempo of the music, skippy doubles that we were doing before. Let's go ahead and take inside hands with our partner and go ahead and just dance just 4 piva. Oh wait, is there a question? No? Okay, there being no question. So unless you are the musicians or me, please stay on mute unless you have a specific question, because otherwise the sound will compete. Yes. This dance is called Les Bains Dissonance, pronounced God knows how in the 15th century. So, starts with our partner, 4 piva, anywhere you wish to go, just 4. So, ready, and da 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 da. 4 shall be the counting. It's a short dance. And then we're going to actually separate from our partner. That's all of part A. So, to give you a little structure, 3-part dance. First part is 4 piva, the trace. Second part is the biggest part. It's this fun little separating away and longingly returning again and exploding away and coming back together again. Explode is maybe a strong word. It's a very slow separation. Slow burn, maybe? Anywho, separation, come back, and then the third part is just a little bit of footwork together, very brief, before we repeat the dance. So, part A was 4 piva, the trace, done. And I will demonstrate this facing away from you so that my left is your left and my right is your right. So again, we have a situation where leader is on the left, follower is on the right. Leader and follower are determined by orientation to each other, not by any kind of gender anything, and especially in these dances from this particular source. So everyone's going to be doing the same thing at the same time, but let's practice together the footwork and the geography all together before worrying about exploding. So whenever you are the leader, whenever you're on the left of your set, this is what you will be doing. 3 slow single steps forward. So step left, step right, step left, and then turn over your left shoulder to face, placing your weight on your right foot so that your left foot is free. Okay. Let's go ahead and try it in the direction you're currently facing. Doesn't matter, from this direction is fine. Let's try those 3 slow single steps and a half turn. Ready? Step, 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 half turn. Okay? So, let's try that one more time, and then we'll get to the next part. Ready? And step, 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 half turn. Now, we're going to return to the place from which we left with 2 piva, and this is completely my version of this dance. Just go with it.
Yeah.
You have the option. You can either just do 8 little walking steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or you can do piva. Okay, so 2 piva back to place. Piva 2, 3, piva 2, 3. Okay, so that's what you do if you're on the left of your set and something else comes there, but we're not going to worry about that yet until you have a human to swing around. So, if you're on the right of the set, you will go backwards with that same sequence, but minus the half turn. Looks like this. Left, right, left, pause. And just close and free up your left foot. And then 2 piva back to place. Piva, piva. Okay. So, let's go ahead and try that, but actually doing the person on the left will go forward, the person on the right will go backwards. Okay, let's go ahead and try that. Ready, and step, 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 half turn for the leaders. Okay, and then 2 piva back to place. Piva aiming for right shoulders, so that we're left, God, I apologize profusely. Yes, he's correct, that's his injured shoulder, I should remember that. Left shoulders. Okay, let's face next to each other again, same person on the left, same person on the right. Let's try that separation without any pausing. So, ready and step, 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 and turn, piva to meet. Okay, good. Now, we're going to do 2 more piva, switching into each other's places. So take left hand, since your left shoulders are touching, and we're going to switch with 2 piva into each other's places. Followers will turn a little extra, so that now the followers are the leaders. I was on the right, I'm now on the left. Okay. So let's try that all together. Go back to your original positions, original orientation. Let's try that all together. Ready, 3 singles. And single, 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 leaders turn, piva to meet, and piva to switch. You should now be in a different orientation, but facing the same way you were at the beginning. Just new person on the left, new person on the right. Okay, so we're going to repeat that entire thing, but inverted, right? So I'm on the left, whoever's on left goes forward, whoever's on the right walks backward. Okay, let's go ahead and try that. Ready? What? Oh, I'm sorry. I poked his injured shoulder, and I think I hit the spot. I apologize profusely. I know. Just so many natural talents. Right, okay, so let's go ahead and try this whole thing, just the separation sequence. People on left going forward, people on right going back. Ready, and single, 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 turn, piva to meet, and piva to switch. And remember, whoever was the follower during the separation has to turn a little extra. Right? Okay. Let's put that all together, the separation, because the pattern is going to be separate, come back, switch, separate, come back, switch. Let's do that, and we'll do that with the music, so I'm going to hand it over to our musicians so you can do it with the actual music. Separating.
Ready, and.
Single, single, turn. Okay, let's try that one more time. Ready? Or musicians, sorry.
Ready, and.
Single. Turn. Excellent. Okay. Are there questions about the separation reunion figure?
Yes, please.
Yes, go on.
So I learned that as doubles.
Yeah, so the original footwork is not described, really. So, yeah, that's fine. If you prefer to use doubles, you're absolutely allowed to do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Basically, as long as there's 8 steps.
Yeah, basically, as long as you're doing, and this brings me back to my general question of, and there are going to be dance masters rolling over in their graves and sending out demons of wrath to curse me, but if you get down to it, what matters the most in these kinds of dances is the geography, that you're covering the same amount of space in the same amount of time, and what your feet actually do, my feet could be doing something completely different from his, yeah. And we could still dance perfectly well together. So he's going to dance piva and I'm not. Yep. Piva, just dance piva.
Okay.
Right, I'm not doing anything but walking around. Just normal walking steps. Watch. Right, and we're still dancing together just fine. So that's a very good question. Thank you for asking.
Did you want to do that?
No, no, I was talking about as a couple.
I get it.
Right, when you're actually with someone and you think it might matter, but it doesn't. Okay, So, are there any other questions before I give you the final last little bit of the dance? One. Okay, so now that we've done our separation, reunion, the last little bit is going to be, I will dance this from the side. You can watch my partner. It's called a tret and a retret, and that's, tret is just the word for step. It's a Germanic word, actually. And so we're going to tret, so that's a step forward, and retret, step back. Right, so the timing on that is going to be tret, retret. And you're definitely not planting your weight all the way. You're stepping forward without closing and stepping back onto your right foot. It's the difference between a single in this genre and a tret and retret as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so let's go ahead and try tret, retret. Ready, and tret, retret. And then we're all going to turn over our left shoulder 4 steps all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the whole dance. So, for Piva, separation, reunion, tret, retret, turn. So we're going to dance it once through with the music and me calling, and then I'll go on mute, and we shall just frolic. Are there questions before we do so? Piva. Separation. Single, single, single. Turn. Jimmy. This way. Singles. This way. Fret and reset. And turn. Okay, excellent. So, we're going to hand it over to the musicians now. Enjoy.
So it started at speed into about 6.
Speed up.
Lovely.
Excellent. Are there any questions about Laban's dissonance before we move on to the next dance in our ball? Oh, sorry about that. Okay, moving on then. This will be a chance for my more beginner dancers to just watch this next dance or to get beverage. And I'm going to momentarily get beverage. Our next dance is Leoncello. Brief cultural note. This is one of those dances that was specifically choreographed to curry favor, in the court of Leonello d'Este, the Duke of Ferrara, and a bunch of other places as well. One of the great Renaissance princes. If you want to look into how to be an excellent prince for your people, look into Leonello d'Este's life. He was a great patron of the arts, and he founded the University of Ferrara, I think, which is to this day one of the most renowned institutions in the world of learning. So Leoncello is a dance, of course, that is a pun off of his name, and it appears in a manuscript that I'm fairly confident was presented to Leonello d'Este in some copy, and with the hopes of being hired on as a servant of the court, namely a dance master and or master of festivities, as dance masters often are in these sorts of courts. I have myself been a master of many festivities as a great Contessa. In any case, this is a lovely little dance for two. I think I see a question. Yes, go ahead and ask your question, Daniel.
The Turk book has Leoncello Nuovo and Leoncello Vecchio.
That is a very good question, thank you. So in some of the manuscripts for this version of the dance, this one is called Leoncello Vecchio. And that means old, the old version versus the new version. And this is, the version that we are dancing right now is the oldest of the old version from the earliest source. And of course, this dance does evolve over time. It became very popular even after the great Leonello's death in 1453, I think. It's a bad year, it's a very bad year for a lot of people. And so this dance does evolve, and there are other versions with slightly different footwork. And then there's even the new version, which comes later, and it's very different from the old version. So very good question. Any other questions before we dance Leoncello? The music is the same, however, so you can dance any version of Leoncello to this music, unless it's very bizarre, your version, I mean. Is it a difficult dance to learn? No, Leoncello, I would put Leoncello in the middle of the pack in terms of complexity. It's not what I would call a beginner dance, but it is relatively easy. It is relatively easy. It's not the most complex either. Via Guillemina is one of the more complex ones, I would say, for instance. Okay, then we shall go ahead and dance Leoncello to our musicians. So the next dance shall be Joliva, which actually means blithesome. And yes, it is a lovely piece of music, and I especially like Master Otto and Mistress Caitlin's rendition. Really just beautiful.
The violoncello, yeah.
Yeah, violoncello. Excellent music. Right, so the next dance shall...
We like your version of Jealousía too.
Jealousy?
Or
We're
not
dancing
Jealousía,
Jealousía.
whatever you just said.
Joliva.
Joliva. Wow.
We're dancing, the next dance is a Basado Joliva, and we are going to do a walkthrough on this one. This is one of our walkthrough dances. So a Basado means low dance, and the implication there is, of course, a certain gravitas, a certain gravity and grace. So this is a slow dance entirely in 6/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be a good one for people who want to perhaps cut their teeth on a Basado. So it is for couples, and we'll start facing away from you so that my right is your right and your left is my left. And the dance starts with 2 singles and 2 doubles. And to recap, and actually I'll dance across the room so you can see my feet. Singles and doubles at this tempo look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is singles. 1, 2, 3. So let's have everyone just walk slowly at this tempo. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Right, so these are your singles. In this dance, they always come in pairs. 95% of the time, singles come in pairs, and then there's some other fun combinations. So, let's go ahead and just walk 2 singles, since they do come in pairs in this dance, starting with your left foot, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 singles. Dopey at this tempo look like this. Still 3 steps and a pause, just as we've been doing before in various dances, but different tempo. It's going to be a slow, quick, slow. Looks like this. Slow, quick, slow. So let's go ahead and try one on the left, a doppio on the left, a doppio on the right. Ready, and slow, quick, slow pause, slow, quick, slow pause. And at the end of 2 doubles, your left foot should be free again. Just like with our single steps, we're just constantly alternating left and right. It's a question of timing. The rhythm is what changes. But still, no matter what, alternate left and right. Don't ever try to do this. Okay, this is not a thing. I mean, unless you're physically forced to do so, in which case we might have to come up with ways to prevent your other foot from being damaged. So let's go ahead and put 2 singles and 2 doubles together. And I'm actually going to pass it over to our musicians so you can actually start to hear and feel the music. They're taking a break. Or Kate, can you play on your harp? Or is...
I can do it, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Passing it over to Mistress Caitlin. Ladies on your right, left. Single. Single. 2 double. 3, 3, double. 2, 3, pause. Okay. So let's go ahead and try that again. 2 singles, 2 doubles. Weight is on your right foot. Mistress Caitlin. Double. 2, 3. So the thing that's giving the rhythm in this particular, she's playing the melody, but you'll hear a regular hard plucking that she's plucking that counts every 3 counts. So that's where the rhythm is coming from, is that hard plucking every 3 counts. There's no drum. You don't need a drum. I know you've been probably conditioned into believing that if percussion isn't beating you into submission, then it's not dancing, but. And Bassa dance is where that really comes through. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that with our partner, if you have a partner. 2 singles, 2 doubles, and at the end of the second double, I want you to do a half turn to face the other direction. So we'll start facing this way, and we'll end facing you. So, ready, and single, single, double, 2, 3, pause, double, 2, half turn. So what would normally be your pause becomes your half turn. Let's go ahead and try that again. Just from this orientation, don't worry about it. I just want you to practice 2 singles, 2 doubles, half turn. It comes up a bit in this dance. So ready, and single, single, double, 2, 3, double, 2, 3, half turn. Okay, so let's try that again now that we're back to where we started basically, but this time I'll pass it over to Mistress Caitlin for musical accompaniment.
Okay.
Single, two double, double, 3, pop, double, 2, half turn. And the dance doesn't just end there. There's more footwork that will follow that, I promise.
That's it.
That's it. The dance is done.
Two
Shortest
singles
dance
and a
ever.
double.
2 singles and 2 doubles.
Two singles, 2 doubles, and a turn.
Okay. Now that we have the viola da gamba joining us, so the viola da gamba will also be providing a nice rhythm for us. Right? So we're going to hear that mournful, really romantic strumming. That sort of strumming. That's not the word I'm looking for. Stroke. Right? And that's going to be happening every 3 counts. So let's talk about what comes after that, and then we'll add that on. So that's sort of the opening figure is 2 singles, 2 doubles, and a half turn. This is a very short dance, I should add. And then after that, we have reprise left and right, and some people do reprise one way. This is how I do them. So weight should be on your right foot at the end of that because you just turned on your right foot. Your left foot should still be free. And the reprise looks like this. Left undercut, left gather, but not place, just gather, so that your weight is still on your left foot. And then, in this case, we're going to do another one to the right. Right undercut, right gather. So left, right, left, right, left, right. Ready? And left, left gather, right, gather. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that on to the end of our 2 singles and 2 doubles. I'm going to hand it over to Mistress Caitlin for the music.
Are we ready?
Here we go. 2 doubles. Double. Double. Half turn. Raise the left. 2, 3. Right. 2, 3. Yes. Okay. So that's the opening figure. 2 singles, 2 doubles, half turn into reprise left and right. And in this dance, every time you do a half turn, you're going to do a reprise to the left. Maybe not to the right again, but you will always do a reprise to the left. You half turn, automatically reprise left. You can't go wrong. Okay, so, just going to come away from the wall a little bit. Right, we're now going to get this really sexy window figure. Oh yes, what dance is this again? It's okay. Joliva, and Joliva actually means blithesome lady. Right. First, let me get through the window shopping figure, and then we'll ask about questions. So we have this really sexy window shopping figure, and it's one of the things I love about this dance particularly. And it opens with continenza left and right, and a continenza is just a sway, is just a shifting of your weight. You're not going to actually step anywhere. Your feet are going to stay right where they are. Your weight starts on your right foot. You sway up and come down onto your left. You sway up and come down onto your right. Described in one of the sources as the treading of the bellows. And when you tread the bellows, you don't step sideways off of the bellows or you fall and break your face on the bellows. Right? So, we're just going to sway left and sway right. And sway left. And each continenza takes the same time as 1 single. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These serve as a sort of gentle little sexy punctuation, really. So, we just did reprise left and right. We're going to open our window shopping figure with continenza left and right. So we go continenza left 2, 3, right 2, 3. And now you'll notice what happened when we turned around. Look who's in the lead position. Yay, I have the power, I have the power. That means I'm going to go shopping first. It seems only fair. So, we're going to go all the way around our partner with that same sequence of steps that we did at the beginning, actually. 2 singles, 2 doubles, and then we'll reprise a left and right. So that looks like this. I go around my partner. I go single, single, double, 2, 3, and double, 2, 3. We're back together, just like we did at the beginning. We have reprise left and right. There's just no turning this time. So reprise left, 2, 3, and right, 2, 3. And then, as you may guess, my partner goes around me with 2 singles and 2 doubles. Single, single, double, 2, 3, and double, 2, 3. No. Okay, so whole window shopping figure. Well, then we end our window shopping figure with a very conventional movement, and we actually haven't had this yet, so we'll go ahead and cover it. The reverenza. So we take our left foot back, we lunge down, and we rise again, and we come back up. And it takes 1 count, 1 bar of music, so 6 counts. So that means 3 counts down, 3 counts up. Looks like this. Down, 2, 3, up, 2, 3. And we're not completely facing each other, as I was demonstrating from the side. We're in what I call the social V, right? So we're inclined towards each other, but not completely facing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And keeping your weight does not shift. Your weight starts on your right foot, and your weight ends on your right foot, and that's on purpose. Okay, so whole window shopping figure is continenza left and right. Leader, whoever's on the left, circles, 2 singles, 2 doubles. Reprise. Follower, whoever's on the right, circles. And then reverenza. So I'm going to have our good musicians play. It doesn't really matter which part of the bassa danza they play. I don't want you to start associating a specific melody to this dance, because this dance did not come with its own melody. So you could dance this dance to any piece of bassa danza music at the suitable tempo in 6/4. Right? Okay, so passing it on to Kate, and I will call. Or to all 3 musicians.
With the Salterelli.
No, we're not.
No,
We're just
we're
doing.
not.
She's just practicing a bit of it.
Okay.
Yes.
From this.
So starting with continenza, left and right. Left, right, leader around, single. Up, up, 2, up, crazy, left, right, follower, okay. So let's do the whole dance through to that point from the opening. 2 singles, 2 doubles, half turn into reprise.
Okay, from the beginning.
Yes. Single. 2 doubles. So, half turn, reprise left. 2, 3. Right. 3. And go up. Right. Single. Double. 2, 3. Left. All round. Single. Double. 2, 3. Double. 2. Never ends. 1. Okay, excellent. So we are now to the final part of the dance. We have one last little bit. One last little bit. Okay, are there any questions before we give you the cap of this dance?
One question on there.
Yes, I have another question.
Okay.
What is the difference between this represa and like the represa in Petit Briennes, where it's just 1 step to the side?
So I don't teach that as a 1-step.
Okay, so what do we do in that dance
The
now?
same thing, just this step really fast.
Okay, so 2 steps to the side for the represa instead of just.
So left, right, left, right, left, right. So I mean, it's really, yeah. So I mean, that's not really relevant to here because we're trying to stick to just this dance, right? But so this is how I would do that, the represa at Piva. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Same thing, just different tempo. Good question. Okay, any other questions about this dance specifically?
fair amount of variation. Some have the reprise after the two halves of the window shopping.
Yes, yeah, was Daniel Lincoln, yes, so there's 2 or 3 different versions of this dance, might be more than that, actually. Okay, so, right, so we've just done our reverenza, and now we're going to, you'll notice we're still inverted, so the dance can't really end this way. Well, I mean, I guess it could actually, because that would be a change of power, but it's not going to end this way. I can't keep the power in this dance, sadly. I can't manage it. So we're now going to do Saltarelli in Basado, and so those are very slow Saltarelli. So we did the Saltarelli in Petit Rose. That was the step, 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 step hop. In this dance, you end up making the double syncopated like the other doubles in this dance. So that looks like this. Step, 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 hop, step, 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 hop. And the hop should not be, it should not be a vibrant hop. That's not the nature of this dance. So for those who want a little more advanced, I really don't want you to actually really leave the ground even necessarily, right? Just sort of a raising and lowering. So we get 2 of those with our partner. We get 2 of those. Let's do it from the reverenza though, so we can practice that transition. So we go reverenza. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Saltarelli, step, 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 hop, step, step, step. Okay, let's try that again, but that last hop is going to be a half turn into a reprise left. Remember I said every time you do a half turn, you do a reprise left. So let's try 2 Saltarelli into reprise left. Ready, and step, 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 hop, step, 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 hop. Okay. And again, you'll notice I'm not leaving the ground really. Make it nice and controlled. It should be more of a rising and lowering in this sort of nature of music. Okay, so try that one more time, and then I will give you the very last, the crowning piece of the dance. So 2 Saltarelli into reprise left. Step, 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 hop, step, 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 hop, reprise left, 2, 3. And at the end of that reprise, it is essential that your right foot be free, which it should naturally be because you went left, right, left. And our right foot is now gathered but free. So we're now going to do a Volta Tumble. This is a turn all the way around over our left shoulder, but in Basado, so it's a little bit different than the Volta Tumble we've done thus far. So we're going to do 2 singles to do turn halfway around. So it's going to be quarter turn right foot, quarter turn left foot. And then, my right foot still being free, I'm going to finish my little turn, my circular figure, with the reprise right. Right, left, right. So it's a turn that takes me back to place. I'm just walking my own private little circle with a single right quarter turn, single left quarter turn, right, left, right. Okay, let's try that together. Weight is in our left foot, right foot is free, and quarter turn, left, right, left. Okay, let's try that from the reprise left. So ready, reprise left. Left, 2, 3, volta. Right, 2, 3, left, 2, 3, reprise, 2, 3.
Oh, you need to move forward. They can't see
Oh, gosh, I apologize. Try that again. Reprise left, ready, and left, 2, 3, pause. Right, 2, 3, left, 2, 3, reprise, right. And we do a reverenza here at the very end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's the whole dance. So after the dance, as is a very common fashion, we shall then do the alta danza, as the Spaniards call it, which in this case is the Saltarello in Saltarello tempo. And that's just the music will go da, 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 and you, if you have a partner, just dance Saltarelli, step, 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 hop, step, 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 hop, and lead figures if you actually have a partner. If you have a ghost partner, lead your ghost partner, right? And you do that until the music stops. Okay, are there any questions about Joliva?
Contessa, yes. At the very end,
Yes.
when you turn halfway, we ended up, but the power dynamic switched again.
Yeah, so
What
at
did we do
the,
wrong?
good question. The end of the dance, you should more or less be back where you started. And you should be in the orientation that you were when you started. So it should be leader's leader again, follower is follower again.
We'll work to that.
So if that happened, that is correct. Excellent. Are there any other questions? Okay. So I'm going to hand it over entirely to the musicians. If you haven't perfectly memorized this version of Joliva, just dance some Basadon's steps to this gorgeous, gorgeous music.
So twice through the Basadance before the Salterelli, or?
Yeah, so after the Bassa Danza twice, and then the Saltarello right after that. Can we unmute it? Gorgeous. So yes, Daniel, you are right. I apologize. The end, mea culpa, the end of the shopping figure should actually end with reprisal left and right and then a reverenza. So we added that in at the end. If you actually take my Joliva class, which I'm offering I think on March 6th, I promise that all the steps will be in there. Okay, excellent. So, are there questions about Joliva before we move on to our next dance? Delightful. So the next dance shall be Marquesana, for those who know it. This is another dance that was composed in honor of Leonela d'Este, like Leoncello. They're sort of companion dances, I consider them as. So please grab something to drink and enjoy dancing or watching and or listening to Marquesana. My love.
Ready?
Steps.
Are there questions about Marquesana? Okay, then our next dance shall be Amoroso, and we're going to do a quick walkthrough on this. This is not a full teaching, this is a walkthrough reminder.
It's mostly for my benefit.
This is for those who have danced it before and would like a reminder or would like to quickly pick up the version I do versus whatever version they may do. Okay, so Amoroso starts in this version. We have 8 piva to start, and piva in this dance look like this. Step, 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 step. So there's no skipping in this version. It's not there in the music either. Okay, so we get 8 of those with our partner. So let's go ahead and just dance 8 of, I call those floating piva, but that is completely a Contessa bit of nomenclature. Right, so 8 of the floating piva, ready, and step, 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 4, 5, da, 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 7, da, da, 8. Now, if you're dancing in a tight space, which I'm assuming is the case for many people, I'm going to recommend you do the next several figures around your partner, more or less, instead of trying to dance away from them. It will make it neater and probably more enjoyable. So, first sequence of steps, the leaders are going to, in this case, we're going to go around our partner with single, single, do, pi, Piva. Step, step, step. Okay, so ready, and single, single, do-pi-o, step, step, step. You see my train creates a nice buffer. So. Okay, and then immediately the followers will do the same, and in this case, in our tight space, I'm going to go around him. Single, single, do-pi-o, step, step, step. In the original, it just says they go away and provide zero geography for what that means. Okay, that's chase sequence 1. Chase sequence 2 in my version, and we actually have, thanks to the fantastic ensemble Gaita, we have 4 bars of music, 4 complete bars of music for the 4 piva that actually are called for. So again, if you don't have lots of space, just go around your partner, leaders, person on the left with 4 piva. And da 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 da, and then immediately followers go around. Da 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 da. Survival note. If I'm dancing this dance on a crowded ballroom floor, this is the only way I ever dance this dance. I never leave my partner because it just becomes chaos. Yes, so we have our piva, we have our first chase sequence, circle sequence, we have our second chase / circle sequence. Then we have the grand solo. So leaders, person on the left, are going to leave with the sequence of 2 singles and a double, 2 singles and a double. So they're going to turn a half turn on the last step of the second double to face their partner. Okay, ready? And single, single, do-pi-o, step, 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 turn. And again, if you don't have lots of space, you can do this around your partner, but do try to end up at least as far away from them as you can safely achieve in your space.
Single, single, do-pi-o,
Yeah.
step, step, step.
No, single, single, do-pi-o, single, single, do-pi-o. Okay, yes. Okay, single, single, do-pi-o, single, single, do-pi-o, half turn at the end of the second double. And then it seems that perhaps it's just the leaders, the people who walked away, who do a reverenza. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the leaders who are separated now are going to circle over their own left shoulder with 4 of those piva to end up where they started at the beginning of this circling. So you end up separate from your partner. So circle over your left shoulder, 4 piva. It'll be a nice big circle or however you can make it fit in. And we end up separate, and that's on purpose. Then followers catch up with the same footwork that the leader used to go away. 2 singles and a double, 2 singles and a double. Single, single, do-pi-o, single, single, do-pi-o. I reverenza. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of sexy, right? And then I do the 4 piva over my left shoulder to end up in the position of power. Piva, 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 piva. And then we start the dance again. So that is my favorite version of the dance. If you would like to learn this version and possibly also the differences between this version and the other version, I'm teaching a full hour class on this tomorrow. Okay. No, a full hour, not 4 hour, full, F-U-L-L, hour. I couldn't, that would be gruesome. Okay. Are there any questions about Amoroso before I pass it on to our musicians?
Looks like there might be something. Nice.
Excellent, splendid. Okay, so then, Amoroso.
Ready?
We've grown so accustomed to dancing it without enough music that my poor husband's going to have to retrain his brain to include that there's actually a full bar at the end of sections 2 and 4. Full extra bar in the case of section 4.
It was lovely. I just ruined it all.
That's okay. Remember, everyone, there are no perfect dancers, just perfect thinkers. Okay, are there any questions about Amoroso before we move on to our next dance? Okay, then the next dance shall be Orange, and this we are not going to teach. In fact, the next several dances are just for you to enjoy and watch or dance if you know them, or do something that you enjoy to whatever music happens to be playing. So the next dance is Orange, and this is another of these 15th century English dances for 3 people. Music composed from scratch by our good Master Otto himself. So go ahead and pretend you have 3 people if you don't. Otherwise, enjoy.
Ready.
Are there questions about Orange before we move on to the next dance? Excellent. So I'm just going to ask, we musicians and dance mistress we're not going to force anyone, but we would prefer, and we're recording, just so you know, we're not recording in the gallery view. I've got a very complex setup here. We're only recording in the pinned me view, so don't worry about yourself being particularly visible in the recording of this. We would prefer it if we could see you all dancing, or just sitting and watching, because I'll be honest, it's soul-sucking to look at my screen and see faceless names on the screen. We too are isolated, and we need to at least know that there are living humans out there and not just white names on black screen. If you're not comfortable with that, that is perfectly fine. But if you are comfortable, please. Okay, enough begging from the Contessa. The next dance shall also not be taught, shall be the Danse de Clèves. We will be covering this in one of my classes. I'm pretty certain at some point I'll be offering an hour class on this dance as well. So the next dance is Danse de Clèves. This comes from a very gorgeously illuminated manuscript from the end of the 15th century, and it's gold ink on black parchment. And I actually read a theory as to why that is, and it's because the person to whom it was ostensibly dedicated had just lost a, let me see, Marguerite, I'm trying to remember if it was her husband or died, or anyway, someone very close to her, and I think it was her husband had just died, and so this was given to her as sort of a memorial edition, still acknowledging that she was in a period of mourning. So it's a gorgeous manuscript. And this is one of the few dances in it that comes with a complete melody. In fact, the melody is so complete that they didn't feel the need to include all of the dance steps. So you may have danced different versions of Danse de Clèves because there are literally 2 whole sections of the dance that have 0 footwork attributed to the music. So enjoy your version of Danse de Clèves, watching us and or listening to the music. Good musicians. Are there questions about Danse de Clèves? No? Excellent. So there was a slight amendment to the order of dance. We actually opened with Via Guillemina. So the next dance shall actually be Fisa Mahaya, and we will do a quick walkthrough on this. We are actually in good time. Yay me. Yeah, I can stick within a time frame. I feel so proud of myself. So the next dance is Fisa Mahaya, and it is a basse danse, which is what we just did. We just did a basse danse, that's Danse de Clèves. And Fisa Mahaya is one of these delightful dances for which a popular tune, a popular song existed first, and then a dance was choreographed to fit into that music. And it seems, as my research is taking me down this rabbit hole of doom, that was a very common practice. And of the 101 choreographies that have been handed down to us from Italy, we only have only 20 pieces of music were provided in the sources. And that is because I'm now realizing, why would you waste expensive vellum, ink, and paint, and pigments that go into the paint on tunes that everyone knows because they're so popular. So, Fisa Mahaya is one of these tunes. There is a tenor that is provided in the 5 different source manuals that contain this dance. But apparently that tenor does not line up necessarily with the popular song. Could be many reasons for that. But the popular song is really a lot of fun. And it's basically about from talking to men and women and telling them not to get married. Because Fisa Mahaya means marriageable girls. And it's this fun back and forth between male and female voices. It's a lot of fun as a song. Anyway, the dance is relatively simple, and that's one of the reasons we can do a walkthrough. So just like in Joliva, we have singles and doubles in that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's a pattern to this dance, and that pattern is 3, 1, 3, 1. But what the hell does that mean, Contessa? Well, let me tell you. Thank you for asking, Capriole. 3, 1, 3, 1, those numbers refer to the number of doubles in each of the sections. So section 1 and section 3 have 3 doubles. Section 2 and section 4 have 1 double. So sections 1 and 3 are exactly the same. Sections 2 and 4 are exactly the same. Yay, see? Pretty simple. So section 1 and 3 consist of 2 singles, 3 doubles, ending with 2 singles, so 2, 3, 2, and then 3 newish steps, but you kind of already did this sort of thing in Petite Rose. 3 démarches, and that is a slow single step, 1 slow single step per bar of music, so per 6 counts. That looks like this, leading with your right foot always. Right, 2, 3, dragging your left foot, but not closing it. Dragging and gathering. Then the next one is from the left foot, left, 2, 3, dragging and gathering. And then the third one is from the right again, right, 2, 3, dragging and gathering. Okay, let's try that without extra pausing between each of them. Ready, and back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so sections 1 and 3, let's go ahead and dance one, just we'll through once. 2, 3, 2, 3 back. So think of it that way in your shorthand. 2, 3, 2, 3 back. Okay, or back 3. 2, 3, 2, back 3 is probably better. So let's go ahead and try that. And actually, I'm going to ask the musicians to just play, and we will just start with 2, 3, 2 back. Together dance. What's my guess? Single. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 2 singles, single, single, 3 back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back, 2, 3, 4. Back, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So all of these sections. Thank you. That was good. I don't think you can hear. Chris and Kate, that was good. Thank you. Chris. I think probably you were winning out in the war for dominance, sound dominance. Okay, so that's sections 1 and 3, and all the sections at the very end with what's called a brawl, but as a continenza, basically. So sway onto your left foot and sway onto your right foot. Okay, sections 2 and 4 have 1 double, but only singles at the beginning. So single, 2, 1, 3 back, and then brawl. So let's go ahead and try that. 2, 1, 3 back. So 2 singles, 1 double, back 3 démarches. Okay, so 2 singles. Single, single, 1 double, double, 2, 3, 3 back, back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, brawl. Yes. Okay, good. So That's the whole dance, minus the little opening we'll talk about in a moment. The code is 313, 3131, 3131, 2 and 4. The sections 2 and 4 have no singles at the end. They're very, very short indeed, and those are called imperfect, actually. There's a whole codification of this to make this super scientific. So, dance opens with very common figure, and as far as I can tell based on the source, it should maybe just be the man doing this. So we'll have the man revere the woman. I'm fine with that. The leader will do a reverence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they both brawl left and right. And then the dance starts with 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2 back. Okay, that is the whole dance. Reverence brawl, 3, 1, 3, 1. So with that, I shall be handing it over to our musicians. Are there any questions before we do so? Are there any questions? No?
I don't see anybody reaching, so here we go.
Ready, and.
Okay. So that was Fisa Mahaya, and I'm trying to convince Chris and Kate to do a different rendition that's a melodic and instrumental version of the song, because the song is just so fun. And so cheeky. It's very, very cheeky. I love cheek. Okay, but actually their arrangement of Fisa Mahaya is, of the tenor, the original tenor, is gorgeous. So, next dance shall be Vito di Collino, for those who know it. I will be teaching this at some point, and I do actually have a full-length instructional available on this. I've posted a file in the chat with information. I recommend everyone go take a look at that file. There's links to things, how you can purchase the music from today, how you can find other resources to keep practicing and learning these dances. So there is a file in the chat, and also at the very beginning I posted it as a comment. Okay, so the next dance is Vito di Collino, for those who know it, for 3 people. Passing it on to our musicians.
Ready, and.
Yes, I paid attention to my invisible partner.
Okay, were there any questions about Vito di Colino? As a note, not seeing, if you go, so there should be a file.
At the very beginning of the chat.
Very beginning of the chat. You have to scroll all the way up to see the file, and then you should be able to click on it, I think, hopefully. Let me know if you scroll up and you can't find that file that I mentioned.
Yeah, if people.
Right, so Vito di Colino is another one of those dances that was choreographed to a popular tune. As far as I can tell, I went and found the lyrics of Vito di Colino, and it's about leaving your drinking buddy in a gutter somewhere, more or less. Yeah, good stuff. Highbrow, really highbrow. Next dance is also for those who know it, Rostoboli Gioioso. You can dance the version for 2 or the version for 3.
Interesting.
Passing it on to the musicians.
I love Rostoboli Gioioso.
Sorry, but your choice of dances meant I had to retune the harp, so it's okay. We're good now. I just had to do some tuning.
So, we're at the last dance of our ball. I will do a quick teach on this final one. This is sort of the blowout dance. Before we move on, were there any questions about Rostaboli Gioioso? We were dancing the version for 3 with our delightful third person who just lives here conveniently. Okay, so the last dance is Green Ginger, and this is a fellow of Libens and Orange. And so it comes to us with the ostensible description of the steps, but no music. So again, Chris and Kate have kindly and creatively composed music for it, and so this may be very different from any version of Green Ginger you've done, since the music really helped shape the dance. So this is another of these dance with lots of piva, so I'm going to ask my partner to come back out because there's figures. So it starts with 16 pive, but with a difference. The last 4 pive are a heart. They do a heart at the end. And I've altered the figure on this a little bit because I think it actually works better. So a heart, right, if you imagine you're dancing forward and then you each split off to kind of make this cute little heart figure and you end facing at the end. So that means we're basically going to be casting out over our own outside arm with these 4 piva. So this hand is the one not attached to a human, so I'm going to go out over my right shoulder. He's my partner, it's his left hand, and we're going to dance this away from you, so left is left and right is right. Right, so this is how this final little heart at the end of after your 12 piva, you do this 4 piva heart. Ready? And da 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 da. Okay? So let's go ahead and just put that on the end of our 12 piva. If you're dancing in a tight space, forgot to mention, you can just, kind of do 2-handed things around in your own little space. Right? And you can just try to end so that you're as maximally using your space so that you have room for your heart. So I'm actually going to have the musicians go ahead and play the opening piva section. So 12 regular piva doing whatever into your half hearts each.
Ready.
Okay. So,
My poor malformed heart.
yeah. So there's actually specific music for the little heart figure. The last 4 bars, you'll notice, change from the rest of the piva. Okay, so we're now facing each other after we just did our little half hearts, each of us. This dance to me is all about, if I do something fast, I do something slow, then I do something fast, then I do something slow. So we just did fast, that was piva. So now we're going to slow down, but the music does not. It's our speed over the music. So we're now going to switch places. So I will end up where my beloved condottiero is, and he will end up where I am by doing half diamonds. So we're going to do a diagonal step forward to our own left, ending back to back, right? And then another diagonal step backwards to our own right, ending in each other's places. Call this half diamonds, slow half diamonds. So let's go ahead, just from where you are right now, let's go ahead and try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of those slow steps takes 2 bars of music, 2 piva, basically. Okay, let's try that one more time, and 1, 2, 3, 4, back, 2, 3. So you should now officially be inverted from where you were before we started all this practicing. So we did something slow, now we're going to do something fast. So this is going to be doubles forward and around your partner without turning your faces. That's a quote, that last little bit. So basically we're going to go forward, passing right shoulders with 1 double, left, right, left, pause, and then back to place, passing left shoulders. 1, 2, 3, pause. Okay. So that looks like this at full speed. Forward, 2, 3, and back, 2, 3, and. Okay, go back to where you were before we started the slow half diamonds. Let's go ahead and do slow half diamonds into what is a back-to-back, a do-a-do. Okay, weight is on your right foot, left foot is free, and left 2, 3, and right 2, 3, and forward 2, 3, and back 2, 3, and. Okay, so we did something fast at the beginning, 12 piva with hearts, slow half diamonds, fast do-si-do. Fast do-si-do, so now we're going to do something slow. So 3 slow single steps back, and the timing on that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pause. Okay, so back, 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 pause. Okay, come back together. Let's try 3 slow steps back, and step, 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 pause. And I use that pause to shift my weight so my left foot is free again. Not that it necessarily matters at this point, but okay. Now we are going to have a final little heart figure, but it's going to be a kind of inversion of the one we did at the beginning. Yeah, it's an inversion of the one we did at the beginning. So we're going to, geography, we're going to come together with 1 piva. So we're facing, and then followers, you are going to cast out over your right shoulder with 3 more piva. Sorry, I apologize, my left shoulder. My left shoulder with 3 slow piva. Piva, just piva, not slow. While I didn't say what the leader was going to do. While the leader mirrors me, the leader goes over their left shoulder. No, why God? Yes, I know. Okay, followers, you're going to cast out over your left shoulder. Leaders, you're going to cast out over your right shoulder. All right, okay, so let's try this. Both of us casting out. We come together with 1 piva like this. Piva, and then we cast over our respective shoulders, and we end exactly as we were at the beginning in terms of orientation. There is no transfer of power. I'm still the follower, he's still the leader. Okay, let's try that last little, I call that a kind of inverted heart. Right? So we're going to come together with 1 piva. Ready? Piva, then we cast down to end up exactly as we started in orientation. Now, if you actually had a proper hall in which to dance this, you would actually end facing the opposite direction that you started this dance, and then you just dance up and down the hall. But none of us have that luxury at this point. Okay, so 12 piva, followed by a heart, slow half diamonds, quick do-si-do, slow back, inverted heart. And that's the whole dance. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to our musicians. Enjoy yourself. was beautiful. Okay, I'm going to drop that file again since, for whatever reason, it's not showing up for people. So this is, let me see if that works. Okay, did that actually, yes, okay. So I've just dropped a file that has pertinent information for resources on how you can perfect or better or learn at all the dances and how you can own the music for your very own and continue to enjoy it even when we are not together in these hallowed halls. So, are there any questions about Green Ginger? Now that you've had a chance to hopefully bounce your way through it merrily with not a care in the world? Excellent. Well then, if we could all just for a moment come off of mute and please give a hand for our wonderful musicians. Please, nice live hand. Yay.
Thank you.
Muted hands.
Well, everyone,
Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And we shall see you. We're doing this on the last Saturday of the month for the foreseeable future until we can actually come together again and have companionship.
I wouldn't miss it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining, especially since you had no idea what you were getting into.
And I was like, it always seemed to be like the, like back then, if you wanted to be like a respectable lady, you had to know how to dance.
And a gentleman as well,
gentleman, yeah.
indeed. Yes, that's very true. Yep.
Was I a good student or did I suck? Be honest.
Or an unrespectable person. Everyone danced, from the most drunk peasant, and I mean that from the imagery, all the way up to the most elegant, sober prince. So there's some pretty funny imagery of drunk peasants dancing. There's always at least one person passed out under the table.
I'm sure there were a lot of drunk princes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're never gonna picture them drunk under the table, though.
But they were there. No.
Trouble.
Well then, everyone, I wish you a lovely weekend. I'm teaching classes tomorrow. If the information is in the document, if anyone cares to join, there's plenty of room because, yay, virtual. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely, lovely weekend.
Well, thank you.
Liquid for the dance mistress. Liquid for the musicians. Food for the musicians, perhaps? Is it that time?
We'll send you eggs through the mail.
Yes.
Okay, maybe not.
I'll
When
send
do you
a
teach
dozen
these
eggs.
dance classes?
I'm sorry, go ahead again.
When do you teach the dance classes?
So tomorrow, it's either Saturday or Sunday. It changes sort of from week to week. Tomorrow is 10 a.m. is footwork drills. 11 a.m. is the class on Amorosa, which is one of the dances we did today. And then 12:15 is the intermediate advanced class, which is Cupido, another bossa danza, slow, graceful dances tomorrow. And then
Are these YouTube videos of these in case we need to catch up?
Yes, there are. I do have. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's a whole medieval dance playlist that I've set up, and that I think has all of the current instructional videos that I have available. I have been recording this, and I will happily post this in an unlisted spot on YouTube, so that people can recover and review as necessary.
You want to go? What's best for you?
And what's your YouTube channel, my lady?
The Creative Contessa. Actually, it's probably Rachel. You're more likely to find it as Rachel Lorenz, but it is in this document. Let me see. So can you actually access the document that I put in the chat? I just put it there.
Yeah, I just found you. Yay.
I'll definitely subscribe because we do try to put out more content.
Yeah, please
often as we
subscribe
can.
if you would like to support me.
I just did.
Awesome.
I'm actually trying to segue into doing this professionally, and YouTube subscribers matter a lot.
Right.
So.
Hey. Do you have anything on dance posture? Because that's definitely something I was probably lacking today.
So thank you for that very good question. I will be putting out a video on that very shortly, like a 3 or 4 minute video just about
Right.
posture and how to affect it. You've got some very good questions today, I have to say.
Because like with me, is when it's like when it comes to posture, the only posture I know is what you learn in a ballet class.
Right. Well, and actually, I'll be honest, the basic ballet posture, if you use that, you can't go wrong for these dances. This ballet actually evolved out of this whole repertory of dance. So there's a definite straight line from here to ballet. Now, that being said, if you learn
Right.
your Russian